talk what everybody liked and just chat for a little bit.
Okay.
Be fun. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Romance Takeover Readathon 2024. It's just Keisha and I, because our co-hosts, it's been quite the weekend, everyone. It's been quite the weekend, but it's still fun. I love it. So we're just going to chat about some books we read and just chat for a little bit. It'll probably be under an hour, but we just wanted to hang out one more night because we didn't get to do as many reading sprints as normal. So yeah, say hi when you guys pop in. Tell me what like your favorite book to read was, and we'll start going through it. So Keisha, what was your favorite book you read?
So okay, I guess I kind of have two. So Wild for You is what I'm reading now by Kristen Proby. I'm really loving this one, which is I didn't really expect to, because I kind of told you last night I haven't been into small town romance that much lately, but I don't know what it is about this, but I'm like all the way into it. So I still have a bit to go, like 50% on that. And then the one by Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, I really like that one too, which was, what is that, like Surprise Baby, but it's not the hero's baby.
Oh yeah, Not His Baby. Love it.
Yeah. Yep. So that one's been really good. It was, some of the inner monologue was like a little weird, but I still had fun with it. Yeah.
Oh,
Those are
sure.
probably my faves.
I've heard hers are really cute.
Yeah, I want to try some for other ones too, because I've heard one, oh, what is it? I was just looking it up the other night, but it's like a single dad one that I want to try, with like a teacher who's the heroine. So I might try more of her for sure.
Nice. I saw you snuck that in there, Steph. Just sneaking in my favorite book of the year. Look at you. Love it. Such a good book. Yeah, I think, let me look at my list, because I ended up getting through 5 books. Yeah, I read 5 books. 3 that were originally on my TBR. Probably Alive and Wells. That was my favorite one. Probably was my favorite one. Yeah. Did I get through 5 or did I get through 6 of them? Yeah, I guess it was 5.
Alive and Well. That was the one from last night that you finished? Yeah.
Yeah. Did I write all my books down? I did. Okay. Thinking if I didn't write one down. Did I forget to write one? I'm looking at my book and I'm like, did I write all this down? Because now I'm not sure. Stay with me.
Yeah, I haven't updated my reading journal at all during this readathon, so I have to do that too before I forget.
Yeah, I always stay on top of it. Okay, Diana. Your favorite was The Idea of You by Robin Lee. It's one that people have deviated or divided because of the ending. Do they have divided opinions? Is that what you mean? Because of the ending? Or deviated opinions? Your favorite was
this one.
Yeah. Yep. Mafia is not your favorite, but you liked it. It's a good one.
I love
A good one. Guarded by the Snake. Nice. That one was fun. I've read that one too.
I haven't tried that one yet.
Oh, yay, Amber. So you finished that one then. Good. I'm glad. That one is delightful. Oh, so you just read those now, Como. The way we were talking last night, I thought they were like old favorites. So you just read those now. That's cool. Love to hear it. Your TBR changed, so you just binged the vampire season. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, her books are super easy to binge. That's a part of the Faye Guardian series. So she binged the season of the vampire. Those are really good. Mm-hmm.
I really want to get to those ones.
Yeah. Your favorite was The Chief by Monica McCarty. Oh, yeah. I've seen I actually think I have that one. That's one people have recommended to me before. I think I found that one on sale for sure. Yes, they have deviated opinions. Oh, you're fine, Diana. Thanks for staying up with us. Thanks for all my European wonderful friends over there. I just wanted to make sure that's what I was saying you said. So I don't like to, make words up for people. Another of my favorites was Jump on 3. Yes. Oh, so good. So good. My babies are so good. Julia Wolf is making the rounds. I know. I'm making it. I'm going to make it happen, man. I'm going to make it happen. Julia Wolf deserves it. Her stuff is so good. But yeah, no, it was good. I feel like it went by really fast, and then with like everything I had going on, I feel like, I know I still read enough, but it also feel like it slipped by really quickly. So
It did. I feel like I started out strong. I started out real strong, and it just was less and less as the days went on.
yeah. Well, if I would have had all day Friday like I was planning to, things would have been a little different, but
yeah.
Yep.
Things happen.
But yeah, I was talking before I got on, guys, that I am happy I'm done though. So, I'm going to talk about it. The book that I just finished, I'm going to talk about it in a minute. But I have my arc of the Witch Queen of Halloween now, so I'm going to read that as soon as we're done with this.
The Witch Queen of Halloween.
Yeah, that's the Cressley Cole.
Oh, okay. I loved her books like a couple years ago, and I really want to get back into them, but I'm like, I feel like I have to reread them. So I've been kind of going back and forth with that, but I do really love her books.
Yeah, that's okay. They're so addicting. They're so good. I reread a bunch of them last year at the end of the year, and it was a good time. I love doing that. Okay, so guys, the last book I finished, I was pushing myself to finish right before the live show. Like literally I finished it 20 minutes before. I finished A Soul to Steal, which was for 5 of my prompts. So I really wanted to finish it. But yeah, it was 5 of my prompts. But guys, that book is so freaking long. It's so long. It's her longest one, and they're all already really long, okay? And like the book has an amnesia trope in it. It's not a surprise, like she lists that in it, but like it has an amnesia trope in it. And it's the kind of amnesia trope that is just so frustrating, because not only did she not only did she have someone forget, but she had someone like their character like changed by them forgetting some stuff, which I get it. Yeah, that can happen, but it made them so unlikable to have them forget. And then we have to spend the second half of the book getting back to them. So the ebook was 690 pages. So I know different versions show different things, but my ebook was 690 pages. Just finished.
Oh, that's a lot.
Thankfully not over 700, but it was close. It was over 500 anyway. Finishing up The Bride. Well, I'm glad it's enjoyable. That's how I felt about it too, Steph. It was enjoyable to me. As I suspected, it gets an overabundance of hype because Sally Hazelwood, which is fine, it's fine. But it's also the babiest of baby like werewolf romance. I don't mean because it's infantile. I just mean if you love reading, if you pick this up because you love fated mates and you love like vampire and werewolf romances, you're gonna know what's happening kind of the whole book. It's so that's why I'm like, oh, I love seeing people be excited. Hopefully it leads them to reading other werewolf and vampire books. That's what I want it to lead them to, because yeah, it's pretty simple, but it's okay, stop moving. Can't wait for it. Let us know. Well, of course I'm gonna let you know, Jennifer. I'm gonna talk about it in my wrap up when I get it done. It's gonna be great. It's out 2 weeks. It's out in a little less than 2 weeks, I guess. 10 days or so. It's out in like 10 days, so it'll be good. Hello and happy. Hi, Evelyn. Hello.
Happy Sunday.
It did get kind of painful, Daniela. It did. Last night, I definitely skimmed some of it, and then it got the last then like 150 pages were like good again. And there's also one where like there's a goal the whole book, and we keep getting dragged away from the goal by all these like little side things, and then an emotional moment, and it just made it that thing where just like, can we get to the fucking point? Like, just get there. It was agonizing. And I'm like, this is another case of like an author didn't have an editor who told them to cut some shit out, because they're, that can happen with indie authors who, they're paying their editor just to, they don't have to really listen to their editor, because they're like, it's not the same as if it's a publisher who's like, you need to cut down the page length, right? Like some of them, they have to. But when you're an indie author, you can really let it run away with you. And, like, oh, I just love talking about these two characters, I'm just going to keep writing. And I'm like, yeah, but you just sidetracked us for 200-300 pages. And now it hurts. Like, I was loving the first half of it. And when I look at the reviews, like, that's pretty much what everybody said who was being honest about it. They're all like, the first half was great, because it was great. So I was super into it. What's the first one? But this one has amnesia. Yeah. You'll have to see, Diana, because like I would have read this even if I knew that. Like, I looked at some of the reviews beforehand. Like I knew what was coming and I knew what the tropes were, but I still would have read it, because the build up to this couple, I wouldn't have skipped them for anything. Like, and I think that's part of it. Like, she knew nobody was going to skip this one. And also it's literally the first one in the series that like, you can't just jump to this one. Like all the others, it's supposed to be that like, because their stories like intersect with each other. So you can supposedly start wherever you want. I would never do that, because I just don't read series that way usually. But by the time we read this couple, and it's the first couple in it, like I was going to read it no matter what. I just wish she had been more kind to us who had patiently waited for this book to come out. That's what I mean, is I'm like, I was going to read it no matter what happened, but I wish she would have been a better steward of that, like, attention that it had of me, because I read other books that were almost as big as this one, and I sucked those babies down in like 5 days. I read 5 books of those. So yeah. It was super baby werewolf. Right, Steph? That's just how I described it in my review. I was like, it was a fun romance. Like, it was cool. I'm interested in like what the underlying mystery of it is. And I liked the heroine quite a bit. I thought she was just the right amount of sassy. Like she wasn't the annoying kind where it's like, I'm not like other girls. Like, she literally is not like other girls, because she's a vampire among werewolves. So it's already there. And it works. But it's just, again, if you've read any werewolf or vampire romances, you know what's happening. So there's like, it's like the fated mate thing is supposed to be a surprise when like it's called, like, I'm pretty sure it says that it's a fated mate romance everywhere. Like, you can't make that be a surprise. And again, if you've read any at all, you're like, well, aren't they fated mates? But then like nobody else gets it. So you're like, but aren't you fated mates? But aren't you fated mates? And then finally someone realizes it in the story, and you're like, this is not a revelation anymore. Like, we figured this out 200 pages ago. I was like, so anyway, again, I ripped through that book. It was good. It's just when I got done, I was like, I knew everything that was happening. So Misery was fun. Yeah, she was great. She's great. And constantly about the smell. Yeah. That reminds me of like Twilight a lot, of like, oh, they smell so bad to each other.
Oh, the werewolves and vampire thing.
Yeah. And I will say this again, because particularly this happens to Allie. Like, I'm not blaming her for this at all. I kind of blame her publisher. Every book of hers is touted as the next like spicy contemporary. And like, I'm not saying they needed to be filled with spice. They were sweet. Like, I like the Love Hypothesis, and like I liked those. But I was let down by the Love Hypothesis because it was touted as like, this is spicy Raylo fan fiction. And I'm like, your word for spicy and mine are not the same. Like, there was only one full scene in the whole, but which again, I don't like to count things, but when you tell me it's spicy and then there's one, now I'm counting. I don't want to count, but when you made it a point, and then this one, they're like, this is a spicy steamy paranormal from Allie Hazelwood. And like, I thought their chemistry was hot. Like, it was great, but like, there's barely even a full scene in this. Like,
okay. So that's,
I'm like, it was good. Again, it was good. It's just, stop advertising it as that. Just say it's a romance.
I originally picked it up because I heard it was an Omegaverse. You know, I love that. And
Right?
then I hear people, they're like, "This is not an Omegaverse."
Well, I take a blame for some of that because I thought it was Omegaverse.
So it's not Omegaverse, though.
No,
It's
no, no, no.
just
But
shifters.
the problem in my head is that he's listed as an alpha, which I mean, he's just an alpha.
Right.
He's the alpha of a pack. And
Oh, okay.
I had just read some Omegaverse, and so I was like, "Oh, she's writing an Omegaverse book." And so I said that all over the place, you
But
know?
I've heard it a
Um,
lot of other places too,
right,
like, even on
right,
TikTok and stuff, and so I was just
right.
like,
But, like, I inferred that out of the description, and, like, it wasn't. It was a werewolf and vampire romance, and he is the alpha of a pack. Like, not every alpha is, like, alpha omega thing. So, when I it was very close before I started it that I was like, "Oh, this isn't gonna be alpha omega because she's a vampire." I was like, "It's
right.
not that." So, yeah, no, it's just paranormal romance. It's paranormal enemies to lovers, like, the vampires and werewolves hate each other. W Good, all the good stuff. So,
Mm.
it's more slow burn. Yeah, and, like, the tension was great. Again, not complaining for it. It's just the marketing that I'm like, "You're letting people down. Are we not over this yet? Stop it." Just stop it. You don't need to say that it's steamy or spicy or whatever. Just say it is a slow burn paranormal romance. There you go.
I'm glad
Then
I
you're
know
not
before
lying
doing
about anything. Yeah, so anyway, I sound like I'm bitching on that book. I'm really not. I had a fine time. I had a fine time with it. So, I really hope she writes another one soon and it doesn't take forever, but probably take a year
it.
because there's setup for another couple that I'm excited about. So I was like, "Ooh, it's the small things." Yeah. I mean, it is when you're excited about it. Like, I was super intrigued from when they shared that cover. I was ready for it. I got an arc of it. I was so excited. And then I start reading it. I'm like, "Oh, they got good chemistry." And then it was one of those where they get like cock blocked the whole way through, or
Oh.
they're like, "Oh no, we're enemies. We're not gonna make this blah blah blah." And but
But
it's
it's an
fine.
arranged marriage, right? I think I started
Yeah.
it,
It's a
but I
marriage, it's a alliance. It's an alliance
okay.
thing. The vampires and the werewolves, like, switch people, so they each have, like, a prisoner, basically, but in her
Right.
case, it's as a marriage to the alpha, but then one of the werewolves goes and, like, stays with the vampires too. So, they're literally like a
Oh.
hostage. Mhm. But in her
Hmm.
case, she's, like, married to him, which I know there's a reason in the book why, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, so it was good. It was good. She set up a good world. The politics of everything is very interesting. Um, so yeah, I just want more from it. But anyway,
Mm.
what else did people read? Is there anybody new who joined? I know we're kind of just Keisha and I lost some of our co-hosts due to illness and busyness. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was good. St. Patrick's Day today. What the heck?
Oh, I went out to brunch with my friends for St.
Yeah.
Patty's Day,
Hmm.
and so we went to this Irish restaurant, and I got, it was so good, and I forgot what it was called, but it's like a coffee with, like, I think, like, some Jameson or some type of liqueur, and
Hmm.
then it had mint in it. It was
Mm,
so good with, like, whipped cream on top. It
that
was
sounds good.
delicious. Yeah, we had some really good food.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
I'm
go.
wearing green.
Nice. I did end up putting green on. I didn't wear green to church, but no, some of my friends, we went to Olive Garden because I had a free dessert that I could get there this month. And then tomorrow we're going to Applebee's for my actual birthday. So that'll be fun. I wanted to
Exciting.
get everyone to go today, but like a bunch of my friends had like a meeting they had to do. So I was like, well,
Mm.
I'll just have a 2-day birthday. That's fine. I can give a shit. So,
Oh, yeah, I always count the full weekend as my birthday.
oh, yeah. I mean, last year I counted the whole month. I did a bunch of giveaways and everything, but when I was turning 30, I was like, "We're gonna appreciate the whole month. We're doing it."
Yes.
But,
That sounds fun, though.
yeah, it'll be fun. Tomorrow morning will just be normal, though. I'm just gonna laze around and read all day. Ooh, what did I get? I read A Touch of Chaos. Ooh, yeah. That one just came out, right? That was the newest one.
By Scarlett Sinclair.
Yeah, someday I'll go back to that series when it's done. She's literally been working on it for like 5 years at this point. I know for sure because I read it. It was either 2020 or 2021. I read the first one on New Year's because it was the first book I read of the year. And the first 2 books were out, and then it was all of a sudden she started writing these 2 other series, and it was like, oh, now I'm going to put out Hades' point of view to go in the middles. And I'm like, I'll just wait till you're done. I'll just wait till you're all done, and then I'll come back around. But I'm like, I don't have the patience for this, especially when
That's
someone's going to retread the story for
yeah.
every single book. Like, I know some people love it, so I'm not. People want to scoop it all up, good. But she's doing it for every single book. We have to, like, why can't you just put their perspectives together? Why did you do this? I don't know.
I know, and then that's why I, like, sometimes hate starting new series when they're, like, new
Wait, what's
releases
the
because
last one?
I hate waiting.
It
I'm
was
so
the
im
last one she said. Perfect. Oh, there
Ooh.
we go. Jenn, I will add it back to my never-ending TBR, I guess. See, I would probably have to reread the first 2. Okay, let me see this. Joy read The American. Oh, yeah. The last in the series, and I was happy with the ending.
Hmm.
Oh, wait, it was? Did that one just come out? Because I thought there was another one coming out, so maybe that one just came out, Heather. I read the
did read
first
Red.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I read the first one and didn't care for it, so I didn't continue. But a lot of people loved it. Which season
fair.
do you like best of the Guardians? Well, I haven't finished the elf Fae, whichever it is yet. Um, I mean, it was probably the vampire one. I feel like things were really starting to happen with those. But yeah, I think so.
I just can't get past the second book of the wolf one, and I need to just, like, listen to it or something so I can move on because I know I really like the first one, it's just the second one is kind of slow for me.
I read the first 2, but then it was Hades' POV. Right? I know. Like, I just didn't. But some people said it was like really important for what it added to it, but I just never went back to it. I bought the third one and I like started it. And at that point when I read that one, Persephone was still so whiny. The third, like, I was fine with it in the first book because she's got her damage, she's got her issues, like, I'm here with it. But by the third book, she was still so, like, whiny, and I was like, "No."
Yeah,
But I'll try
I
again
did
sometime.
like the first
I
one.
did love those audiobooks because I listened to the first 2 audiobooks back to back, and I loved it. I then just had nowhere to go, and by the time it's like that for so many books. There's so many, like, series that I gobbled them up, like Sylvia Day, her series, even E.L. James. Like, I ate up their series when I read it, and then I try to go back to it later, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it
Yeah.
anymore, And there was nothing wrong with it. I'm just past the point where I like can get to it. It is the last one about the American. Okay, I know I'd seen it advertised by people. She put Hades in this one. Yes, I did know that. I did know that she, in her long, long lineup she made all those years ago, she said they'd be together in the end. But I wish she'd done that for the other ones. I'm just going to say it. Why couldn't we have had a POV in this?
Yeah.
But that's just me whining about stuff. You guys know how it is. You guys know how I am. So that's how it be with me. But yeah. I don't know. That's kind of like it, unless anybody has other ones they want to bring up. Like I said, since it's just the 2 of us, we talked about mostly what we read last night anyway, so we don't
My
have
bad.
too much new to say. I was hoping
Yeah.
that Jess was going to be able to join us, but poor girl is sick. So
Yeah, I did, so I will say the Consequences fanfic, it did make me wanna read like, all of these books kind of made me wanna read more other books, so I feel like that's a win. I really wanna get into some fanfics. I need to make, like, an actual list because I always forget what I have on my Kindle, there's so many, I have no idea where they are in there.
yeah, So here's the thing. So at one point when I only had like 50 to 75 is about what I had, which was for the last like 2 years. I had all their names like written down actually in my Kindle Scribe.
Oh my gosh, sorry.
It's fine because my Kindle Scribe has like notepads on it, so I had them all written down and what the couple was. Well, recently I've basically doubled what my library was because there was some people threatening to take their stuff down and there was like people bitching about stuff, and I grabbed a bunch. So now I have almost 300. So I don't have them written down, but I have all of mine separated by couple. That's how I have them separated. So I have
300. Oh my gosh.
yeah. I mean, on my Kindle, I have like 450 because I have all the ones I've already read too. 300 unread is what I have. So,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
But I
I
have them
probably have.
all separated by couples is how I have it. So when I'm in the mood for whichever couple, then I
I
go
do
through.
want to branch out a bit because I found one about Astoria that
Mhm.
kind of sounded really interesting. And
Yep.
then so one about her, and then also there's one with like not Harry Potter, but what is it called? Like House of the Dragon one that I
Mhm.
really want to try too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think that's like HEA, so I'm kind of scared.
One-Eyed Prince. The One-Eyed Prince.
Yeah, yep, that's the one.
I haven't
Have
read
you?
it, but I have it.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know.
it sounded good though, but
Yeah.
I'm terrified.
I mean, I've read the Raylo crossover one. I have that one. I have the
Mhm.
Heartbreak Prince. I have that one.
I've heard a
That
lot of
was
things about that one.
Yeah, that one. I mean, that one's good. It's porn. That one's porn, but it was good.
Let's just be honest and call it
Yeah,
what it is.
it was really fun because it's basically all Star Wars characters at Hogwarts with a random few like Harry Potter characters left, but it's mostly all like in there. Like all the teachers are different Jedi and like
That's
yeah.
so weird. I've
Yeah, like
never
in that one, like Yoda, he's the Professor Binns, like the ghost one. He's the ghost
Oh.
professor because he's a ghost. It's
I
honestly
kinda
great.
love that idea of the
Yeah, and
crossover
like
though.
Leia is like the Minister of Magic. She's the head of that. Like,
That's
and
crazy.
yeah, so yeah, so it was a good one. I had a fun time, but I've said this, like, I've only read, like, 5 fics total that weren't in Harry Potter,
Mhm.
and I mostly read those for like, there was the Spock and Kirk one that I really liked. I love that one. But I read a Yellowstone one that just wasn't there aren't enough of them yet. Like, there aren't enough people who, like, make ships for that or whatever. But I read a
Yeah.
Yellowstone one, I read, an ACOTAR one, and I read the
Oh,
random one, so those are
yeah, well, I don't think she's in here, but I did just bind the Rhysand's point of view. I
yeah,
haven't read that one yet though. That was the first time I did like a blind bind, but I mean, I've read A Court of Mist and Fury, so I thought it'd be fine. But now I kind of want to do one for myself and um, read that one.
yeah.
So I've heard
I
good things
haven't
about.
I haven't read it either, but I got that for my birthday last year, I think Mel gave it to me, and I need to read it. I've been meaning to read it, but
Yeah,
because I mean, the copy she made me is beautiful, but I also, like, don't know if I, like, need to read that one. I don't know. Like, I don't know what it would give me is kind of the thing because it's not
mm,
I don't know. When I read fan fiction, I like to read the ones where they, like, change something, and
right, right.
so I don't necessarily need to read Reese's point of view because I think what makes Mist and Fury work is that when you find out everything he was thinking at a certain point, but
Yeah,
a lot of people love it. I'm not saying it wouldn't be fun to read it. I probably will someday. I just mean, like, I don't know what it would give me that's different since it's just someone kind of flushing out all that stuff he tells her later, like, seeing it in
right.
real time. So I'm sure
Mhm.
it's fantastic. But for me personally, my like fic journeys, I want to read where we've changed something because that's what the fantasy is for me, is like if we had something that we didn't have before.
Yeah.
Okay. Started Empire of the Vampire Day.
Mm.
Jenn, it's staring at me. I just got my copy yesterday, but I think I'm going to do the audiobook. So I'll probably use a credit to get the audiobook because I listened to the first one and there's an interview with Joseph Morgan and Jay Kristoff at the end of the audiobook, which I really want to listen to. So.
I was worried I wouldn't like that one because I didn't know if there was romance in it. So I'm always so scared about those. I'm like, oh, I don't want to be bored, but I really
I
should
didn't
just get
think there would be at all. I wasn't going into one looking for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've read most of his books, actually. I've read most of Jay's books and his like partner books he's written too, co-authored. And like you're not really guaranteed HEAs in any of his books. I mean, at the end of the Nevernight Chronicles, there's technically an HEA, but I don't like who it's with. So I was pissed. There still exists my rant review of that book. I like hated that. I was like, Jay, what the fuck did you do with this? But anyway, but the vampire, like Empire of the Vampire was just so like that's as close to like horror as I can go. And like the vampires are so scary. They're so scary.
Oh, I don't know.
But I loved it. I mean, his writing was so good. Like I loved it. So I listened to it and I was just addicted to it. So I want to listen to this one too. Probably grab that one. TBR is a mile long. So
Same.
that's a win for me. Yeah. DNF books at 50% needed to read the book that I knew you'd love. So you picked up Candy Ryan. Oh, I hope you like that. Okay, and then I skipped over this before, but what are you going to read next, or are you reading right now?
So I'm reading The Wild for You by Kristen Proby.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about doing, but I really actually want to get to that. So it's between two. It's Filthy Vampire or whatever.
Right. Filthy Rich Vampire?
Filthy Rich Vampire, yes. Yeah. Or that Blood in the Water, which was, so that's an arc about the mafia white shoes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm kind of scared for both of them, but if all else fails, I will be reading a fanfic for sure. I just don't know.
I want to read one. See, I was bummed I didn't get to my fanfic. That was on my list. I might still try to read that this month, but I have to pivot. So what I am currently reading is, of course, I need to read a couple more chapters of Dragonfly and Amber tonight. So I'm in the middle of that. But I'm also reading, I just started Storms and Secrets by Claire Kingsley because I grabbed the audio of that because she had simultaneous release for that one. So that's the audiobook I started. But other than that, I just finished A Soul to Steal, and I actually was only reading A Soul to Steal and like Dragonfly and Amber. And then like I started Storms and Secrets on my way home from church and I finished Soul to Steal. So I'm not. But my plan is to read either Darkest Sins or The Witch, Queen of Halloween. I'll probably flip a coin. Like they come out like the same a day apart. So it's not like I have to pick one or the other.
Nice.
But I'll read one of those. I'll probably could get through both. I honestly could read Witch Queen first because it's under 200 pages. So I could read that one first. It's a novella. So I probably read that one first so that I can. Then I can start Darkest Sins right after that. So
what do you call Remain Nameless? I haven't read that one yet, but it's so long. But I really want to get to that one. So I might go with that one.
That one's so cozy. You'll like that one. It's
That's
so
what I heard.
Yeah, it's so sweet. Nice, long, like friends to lovers. Oh, it's so good. And that one has an audio if you need it.
Yeah, and did they take it down?
I don't think they're the only ones who had it though. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
ETL Echo doesn't own rights to anything, so there's multiples of some of the books. So I also don't know if they still went ahead and because can't you still listen to it on AO3? Like they don't only have it on Spotify.
Oh, is it on AO3?
I believe so because they said that on their website. It's like some of them will still be available there. So I don't know how easy that is to listen to. I have never tried that, but that's like where they can release them on there too, I believe. So
I'll have to look into it. Yeah, that would be nice because
I didn't listen to it completely on audio, but I switched between the two because I did like the reading of that one. So,
and it is a long one.
It is. It is. That one's worth it because it's not like it doesn't like hurt you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely spots because
Yeah.
like Draco's working through his like mental health in that one, but it's not as like painful as some of the other ones that are super long and also like hurt you so bad. So funny like side story, guys. So I don't know how many of you watching also watch Mary. Probably a lot of you do, but like More to Mary is one of my friends, and she just read Manacled earlier this week. Like she read it, I think like last weekend, and so she then was like asking for a Rex or whatever, and I sent her my spreadsheet. And she literally zeroes in on A World Not Fit to Live In, which is Lucius, Draco, and Hermione, but not in the way that sounds. It's difficult to say. It's a
I
Lucius
was
and
just gonna
Hermione.
say what?
I know. I can't tell. It's literally a spoiler why it's not
Oh.
a white shoes, but she gets given to both of them because the Malfoys have to have an heir from her. So whoever gets her pregnant first wins, kind of thing, because the Dark Lord makes them do it, type of thing. So she has to spend equal amounts of time with each of them. And it's very, 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 very dark. It's very dark. Honestly, it's the darkest one that I've read. It's darker than any of the others that I read. But I was so addicted to it. And like, it has an HEA, but I also still like cried my heart out so bad. But anyway, so I sent her this whole list of these and I was like, yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. And she's like, how dark are we talking? And I'm like, I don't even know how to quantify. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, without telling her why it's dark, it's hard to like say why it is. Same with like the Pam Godwin, right? Everyone's like, how dark is it? And I'm like, it's dark, man. Like, if I tell you how dark it is, you won't want to read it, but like you should.
Oh, I really want to get to that new one. I do want to try that one.
I know. But anyway, where I was going with this is like she looks at my list and points out, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty dark. And then like I haven't like heard from her since, so I'm like, oh my God, I hope you're okay.
Just never gonna trust anything you recommend again.
Yeah, I was just an absolute mess after that, but yeah, it was great. But no, I think I need to read some of this. Because Mudbloods and Masters, I think, was the one on my TBR. But I also really want to read, oh shoot, I just went right out of my head. It's another Lucius and Hermione that is, shoot. What's Past is Prologue. That's a really, really popular one.
What is it?
Nice one. What's Past is Prologue.
Oh.
That one has like bigoted Lucius in the beginning, and so it's like a really like slow burn because him and like Hermione has to like interview him for something. I think that's what's happening. Tara just read it, but also like Ashton has read that one too. But she has to like interview him for something, and when they start, he's still very like, still very bigoted towards her and everything. But it's like a slow burn with him, and that one sounds really cute.
I do want to try Perfectly in Pieces. I saw good things about that, but I did hear it was dark too.
Yeah, I heard that one. I believe that's like has 2 parts though. Because I downloaded the first one and then it was like the second part or something. Or else that's the
that's
first
like
part.
not done.
Well, no, it's done. But like I have both. I know it's long since 2 parts. Lizelle, that one is A World Not Fit to Live In, but I'm literally not recommending it. So just take that for what it is. She picked that off of my spreadsheet. I didn't say go read it. She's fallen into dark fanfic land. Oh yeah, it's a good place. I haven't read a really dark one in a while. I want to. I'm ready to read one of the darker ones, so I have that one.
I'm really feeling dark romance lately. Like I want to read all the dark things.
Secrets and Masks, Komal. Yeah, that one's on my will not read list, but a lot of people like it. A lot of people
don't want to read it.
Well, it doesn't have a traditional HEA, and I've read half of it.
That
And
huge?
yep,
That's
I
huge.
read half of it, and I was getting to a part of it where I was like, I need to know if this is gonna work out. And then, like, again, it's non-conventional. Like, some people tell you it's a HEA and some people say that it's not. And I
Mm.
don't like to play that game. I'm like, it either is or it isn't. But as an example to people who have read this book, you'll know what I mean. It has an ending kind of like, what's it called? Oh, where's the book at? It's the JT Geisinger. That's the how
Oh,
was
that
it
kind of
Perfect
ending.
Stranger? What was that one called?
Uh, no, not Perfect Stranger. It
No,
was
I know. But anyway, it has an ending like that book. So
mm,
pen
pen
pal, thank you. So to me, when I read that one though, I was like, I felt happy-ish at the end of it for them. But
mhm,
it's not technically so.
yeah. Yeah,
You
I
know,
get that.
like if I was given a someone's forcing me to choose, like it doesn't have an HEA. The author can feel in her heart that it does because that's what it felt like to her, but like it wasn't. And it was marketed as a steamy like romance and like it was a thriller with romantic elements. We got to call it what it is because I give everyone shit who doesn't call it what it is. So, Secrets and Masks has a slow burn, tortured romance, but it has an end like Pen Pal, which some people will be like, this is what they deserve. Like, this is good. And other people will be like, I hate you. So, when I found out what it was, I was like, I can't do it. Like, in Pen Pal, like, it's that type of thing where, like, it's already inevitable. Like, it's all again, I don't know if you've read that one.
No, I read spoilers, though. I didn't actually read
Okay.
it.
Well, for what happens at the end, like, when the beginning starts, the ending is already inevitable. Like, it's all right. Like, all of that leads
Mhm,
us to that ending has already happened. The
okay.
heroine just doesn't know, she doesn't
Mm,
know. But in, like, Secrets and Masks, like, we're gonna have to see that happen to the people. So, that's me
yeah,
being as vague as possible, but to me, the one was like, it's not like something went wrong and then it happened. Like, it's already that way. She just is
right.
needing him to show her that that's what's happened. So, once you know that about it, then I wasn't as like upset about what happened there because I was like, well, this is as happy as it can be for them
Yeah.
based on how the story starts. So,
I've been yeah, I have been, like, wary to start Secrets and Masks, so we'll
yeah,
see if I
it
ever get
is.
there.
Komal, it is. Speaking as I read like 200 pages of it, and like it definitely is. It definitely is. It has a beginning that like a lot of the dark Dramini ones do, where, you know, I don't want to say, because people might not know, but it has a similar beginning to a lot I've read before. So I was like, oh, I can get into this. This is going to be good. But I just eventually was like, okay, the pain that I'm having to go through, I need to know that I'm gonna get weddings and babies at the end. That's me. Like, I'll just
Mm.
say, I was like, I need to know I'm gonna get weddings and babies out of this book at the end, and that is not what you get. So
Well,
I
and
was like,
some
I'm
of
just
the hate to
gonna
love, it's,
yeah.
like, super hate to love. Like, sometimes it's too much. Like, Breath Mints and Battle Scars I started, and I was like, "Oh, I don't think I like this." I was like, "I don't think I like this Draco."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Breathmints and Battle Scars. That one's good, Komal. I like that one. Yep. That one's good. That one is also true enemies to lovers, and, like, Draco isn't necessarily, like, he's not an undercover agent in the beginning who's already on her side or something, like, he really is aligned to the dark side in the beginning, so and I'm calling it the dark side, we know, the Dark Lord, but anyway, it's good stuff. I think the one I wanna read, I think that one's darker, but we shall see. I just need to find the time for it. I don't know when
I
that'll
know.
be. But
I know.
well, I think because I have my oh, that was something I was gonna share. I'm gonna put this in a video sometime soon. But I had someone, send me a or not what am I saying? what am I looking at? I saw a post on Instagram. Nobody sent me anything. I saw one on Instagram where someone said why you should have an ARC spreadsheet, which I always just write all my ARCs down. And they explained like why you should have an ARC spreadsheet. And I was like, I am one of the most organized people I know. Why have I not made one of those? I have spreadsheets for everything else. So I made an ARC spreadsheet for like now till the rest of the year. And already it is like the best thing ever. So my point of mentioning that is once I read Darkest Sins and The Witch Queen, I also need to read one called To Bleed a Kingdom. And once I read those, I don't have another arc that comes out for like a week. So if I get through those, I could have a little breathing room and like, but then I also have to read the patron books. So I don't know how much breathing room I have. I was like, oh yeah, I also have those. That's my job.
Dang it.
No, I just like, I've taken on too many arcs. I hate myself a little bit for doing that because last month I read more arcs than I did of like other types of books. Because like I had 17 arcs and like 14 other books. And I was like, wow, what is happening? And then like this month I have 23.
23.
Yeah, I have 23 in this spreadsheet. And 3 of them I probably will not get to. And one of them I DNF'd. So I'll probably end up having read like 20 out of 23 or 19 out of 23.
That's a ton. Last month I had 2 and I felt a little pressured. I was like, like I'm just not made for the ARC life.
Yeah, so that's 23. Then I add my Patreon books, which there's 4 that I have to reread. The other ones I can just transfer notes, but then we're up to 27. So I read between like 40 and 50 books a month. So that's literally like 2/3 now is all like decided for me. So for being a mood reader, my mood reading days have been squeezed out of me pretty quickly.
Like non-existent.
Yeah. I have to like find a book that I want to mood read and add it to my TBR for the next month.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I won't get to it. But
then
anyway.
is it even a mood read?
I know. That's my point. Like Alive and Wells, that one I wanted to read last month. And I was like, no, put it on your TBR. I don't have time. Because it was near the end of the month and I had to finish my Patreon books. So I need fluffy, sweet romances at the moment. P.S. You're Intolerable made me cry because it was so sweet. I know. I don't know what something really dark will do to me. I know, man. It's tough to know. I've slowed down on ARC requests because I had too many and I couldn't mood read. Yeah. I made a spreadsheet too because I forgot. Right. That's the thing I need to do because I feel like this is already going to make me sign up for less things because it's not just vague, because I'll apply for a bunch and then you don't hear back from them until 3 days before they're going to send you the ARC. Sometimes that happens. Like it'll be like, oh, this ARC comes out on the 24th. Here's your ARC today. Like I literally just had one of those come that I didn't remember signing up for it. But then I was like, oh, and it comes out on the 27th. And I'm like, when did I sign up for this? I don't remember doing that. But it just showed up on my Kindle. And I'm like, oh, I guess I signed up for that at some point because you had my Kindle address. So, yeah.
I need to look at some other PR companies. With some of them, because some of them I feel like I haven't, like you get a lot of arcs that I have never even heard of the authors or like their debut or something. And I love that.
Yeah, I've been purposely doing that. Because you all listening to this, I'll tell you too, like I search for them on Instagram there's so many PR companies that have come up. But also there's authors that I want to sign up for their books and they'll be using a PR company I've never heard of. Like Brooke Montgomery, for her the first book I read of hers, I wasn't on her ARC team yet. So I signed up for an ARC and it was called Love Notes PR. And so I was like, ooh, so then I signed up for their newsletter. But there's the author agency is like my favorite one right now. Anyone who's listening, I'm telling you, the author agency, they have the audio arcs of a lot and they have tons of books on there. Honestly, they have a bunch. And some of them are authors I've heard of, but they're also, new ones that I hadn't. Like I tried Brittany Nicole through them because they had an audio arc of one of hers available. And I was like, I've never read her. Let me try a free audiobook. That's basically why I did it. And I liked it a lot. So yeah, the author agency, obviously, because everybody goes to Valentine PR. everybody knows about it. So it's less likely to get one when fudge you. When authors have to be picky, it's less likely that you'll get one. You know, like I was getting rejected from some. But I made a list. Hold on. Since we're not doing anything, because all of these, like, you know, people who are listening, like, you don't necessarily need to be a bookstagrammer. For most of them, you need to be able to post on Amazon. You need to be able to post on like Amazon and BookBub, because usually Instagram is optional. So honestly, you can really get yourself some free books that way, as long as you're willing to like review them. So yeah, okay, here we go. Wildfire Marketing, they send a ton of emails if you're going to want those. Yours Truly PR, they're a new one I found. Literally Yours PR. And then the one I'm really liking right now, which I have only gotten 2 arcs from them so far, but they're focused on fantasy, and that is the Nerd Fam. And it's actually run by a bookstagrammer. And they do like the PR boxes too. So like when you sign up, you can choose whether you want to be thought of for the PR box or if you just want an e-arc. But they focus on paranormal and fantasy. So the Lana the Lana Percheck one, that is the one that I got from them. And then there's another one I just got from them too. So Nerd Fam is really cool. And if you get on their email list, they send you the open signups like an hour before they post it on Instagram. So you get a chance to like sign up for it faster.
That's awesome.
So yeah, anyway, for everybody, those are some you can check out. Those are not exclusive to influencers. You just need to have, you mostly need to be able to post on Amazon. A lot of it. Some of them will say if you can't post on Amazon, then you need to have a bookstagram. But yeah, it's difficult to know. Only on 2 ARC teams. Well, Lizelle, that's the funny thing, is it's not just about being on the ARC teams for me, but I made a list of that too. I'm on 20 different ARC teams. So some of those are authors who just kind of signed me up for their ARC team without really like asking me if I was on it. So I don't always say yes to the books when they send them, because I'm like, how did I end up on your ARC list? Like I didn't sign up for it. So what you doing? But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do for sure. I mean, obviously now I can read a lot more ARCs than I used to be able to too, because I can do it for a job. So it's fine. But I still want to mood read sometimes. Amazon's rules for reviewing constantly changes. It's been such a hassle with reviews being declined or pulled because of certain words. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. That's for sure. I basically started doing something now, though, that I shorten my reviews for Amazon. I put a full review on Goodreads and BookBub and usually my Instagram, and then I will cut like half of it out for the Amazon review. Because here's the thing why you're reviewing on Amazon. It's not necessarily what the words say. It's what the rating is. They need you to rate it on Amazon. How many people are really reading the reviews? I mean, I know some people are. They definitely are. But the reason why the author needs you to put it on Amazon is they need you to rate it, because if they're rated higher, they get a higher like thing suggested for people. So I just have learned that I put my full thoughts on Goodreads and BookBub and even Barnes & Noble. Usually they literally only will pull cuss words. They will only pull cuss words. They don't have all the weird finicky Amazon ones. Like you can say what you want on Barnes & Noble as long as it doesn't have cuss words in it. So you cut those out. But when I'm going to post to Amazon, if I had went into detail about anything or all that, I cut all of that out and I'll just say like, I liked this. This is my rating. You know, because then Amazon usually puts it through. So anyway, that's my advice, because the author, they need you to rate it on Amazon. That's what they need. On Goodreads, you can go into details about it if you want, and you can use whatever words that you want, because Goodreads doesn't care.
Yep.
Which is funny because they're connected. So why is it okay on Goodreads and not on Amazon? It literally makes no sense. But it is a pain in the butt. And I had my Pam Godwin one was rejected twice. And I literally didn't have bad words. Like, I had no idea why it was getting rejected. So I did that. I cut out everything except my first and second paragraph and then said the rating. And I'm like, here you go. And then it got accepted later that night. So they make no sense. There's no rhyme or reason. They won't be transparent about it.
I heard
So
if you use like ARC in it, they won't. Like if you say ARC or if you say like a free copy in
and
exchange,
that's
like
not,
in
it's
exchange or
not true
something.
though. It's not always true
No.
though. No.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Before I stopped saying that, I had 100 reviews accepted where I would say, thank you to the author for a review copy of this book.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to say ARC or free. So there is that. But I would say, thank you to the author for a complimentary copy of this book. Or I'm reviewing this of my own will, or like, thank you for a copy in exchange for whatever. Like, some of those words, yeah, they don't like, but I used to still always disclose that just
Mhm.
because I wanted to make sure. But now I'll disclose it on like the Goodreads, or it's obvious that it's an arc because the way that I'm doing it. So I'm just like, people
Yeah.
know. People know if you have a full review up before the books come out that you read an arc of the book.
That
Like,
you got
people
an
know.
ARC.
Right.
Yeah.
So whatever. I want to keep in good standing with them. So I cut down most of my review. Because I don't want to get them rejected. I don't want to get on the bad side of Amazon for it. So
Get banned from
yeah,
reviews.
I'm
Yes.
still going to be honest on my YouTube channel and on my Goodreads and everywhere else. But Amazon wants to be a little bitch about it, then I'll cut it out. I don't care. Whatever. The author just needs that 4 or 5 star from you. The words are kind of irrelevant when it comes to, getting people to read
Yeah.
it, in my opinion, on Amazon anyway. So
Yeah, I never look at reviews on Amazon.
no, and Amazon's like needs the rating to know where to like throw it up. So yeah. Hold on. Okay. Legitimate question. Is there some kind of algorithm for Goodreads that affects reviews or authors if the review includes keywords? Or are people using TikTok wording like unalive someone?
Oh
I
gosh.
I think that it has to do with, like I said, people are copy and pasting their reviews from other places. So they're probably like, because I mean, that's what I do. The review I write for Goodreads, like I said, will have the appropriate language usually, so that I can just copy and paste it everywhere. And also, unalive someone is just, it's vernacular now. I don't even think people know why they're saying it. But people just say unalive instead of kill or suicide now. I know like YouTube, you would like censor it or something. I don't know. Those words are never censored on my videos, but I'm also not a big video that gets censored or anything. So but Goodreads doesn't have like Goodreads, the visibility of your review is 100% down to likes. That is why, like, even if there's like a nasty review and everyone's agreeing it, the top 5 liked reviews are the ones that show up at the top. That's literally how it works. It's a thumbs up, thumbs down type of situation for Goodreads about what highlights the reviews. So if you're seeing those words, I'm pretty sure it's because people are using the review across all platforms. So they use the words that work for all of them. Like that's why if I'm writing like rape in my Goodreads, I put an @ sign because I know that I'll be able to put it somewhere else. So that's just easy. But yeah, I think it's part of like, it's people's vernacular, like people get used to saying words a certain way during, when fetch was a thing or whatever, right? Like people get used to saying a word and then they write it too. And then also because people are used to having to talk and write that way for the prudes out there. Like Amazon's ridiculous. That one author that I just read her, did I read her? Well, I read her this month. She had to get a new cover for her book when like the covers are literally the same, but there was too much skin showing on one.
Oh,
Like
the one with like the baby, the single parent ones or whatever.
Heartbreaker Handoff, she had to do a different picture. They're literally the same, except it's like a little more space between them in them. Like
What the
it was
hell?
ridiculous, but Amazon banned one cover and not the other. Like
That's
Their school makes
stupid.
no sense, anyone. So it's all just a game. It's all just a game we have to play to please them and make sure that the books we love get seen by other people. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, we're right at an hour now, and we could keep yakking forever, but I need to get into the good books that are waiting for me. Thank you, Keisha, for joining us for this. This was so fun. You did
Thank you
so
for
great.
having me. I'm sorry my son kept calling. He literally came in here with no pants on. I'm like, AJ, I'm on a
Oh
lie.
my gosh.
Like, I gotta go.
Oh my gosh. Poor boy. Poor boy. Like I said, everyone, the next readathon will be the Mafia Romance Readathon, which will be the second week of May. So yeah, look forward to that. That'll come before we know it. That's only 2 months from now.
Months have
But
been
yeah.
flying though.
But yeah, everybody have a good night. Bye.